I'm Aveline and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are building another house and this one is actually going to be in the save file. So we are building in Windenburg. We're building in the old part of that world, or the old city part of that world, because you know how that world is split up in 4 different areas. So we have the foresty area, we have the island, and then we have 2 city areas where one looks older than the other one. The other one is a little bit more modern looking, I want to say, a little bit more contemporary. So we're building in the older part where all the Tudor buildings are. So yeah, that is what we're doing. And this house is meant for a teacher or a sim who works in the teaching career. So not a head chancellor, but not like not an administrator or anything like that, an actual teacher. Because that's what I wanted to do last week when I ended up building that huge house, which is actually also in the save file now. But anyways, so I wanted to build a teacher's house. It just ended up a little bit too big, so I felt like that wasn't really realistic for a teacher's salary in The Sims, so I decided to build something smaller for a teacher this time. So yeah, that is what we're doing today. And I think by being a teacher, that also means you don't necessarily teach at university, but you could possibly teach at the other schools. I don't know what they're called in The Sims. Frankly, I don't really care about the school systems because there's a lot of different ones out there and it's impossible for me to learn every single one because they're all different from each other. So anyways, but I think the teaching career in The Sims means that you kind of, I want to say graduate through the different schools, but that sounds wrong. You start out working at one of the schools with younger kids and then you sort of move on to the schools with older kids and then university in the end, possibly. But I figured this house would be for someone who's maybe in the middle of the career at some point, like in the middle of the teaching career in The Sims. So I'm also super excited about us actually having the teaching career because my dad used to be a teacher. He's retired now, but he used to be a teacher. So I feel like we've been missing that career for a while. It's just one of those obvious ones, like doctor as well. My mom is a doctor, but you know what I mean, like one of those obvious jobs that we just need, like chef as well, or writer. No, I don't really know. Anyways, let's just be like teacher is an obvious job. That's one of those jobs that we need in The Sims. So it's really nice to finally have it. And yeah, I enjoyed building this house, by the way. I also really enjoyed decorating and I hope you guys like it. The exterior is inspired by a miniature house that I found on Pinterest. I'll plop a picture up in the left corner right now if I remember. I'm pretty sure that I saved the picture, so I'll do my best to just put it up there in the corner so you guys can see what it looks like. It's really cute. I often take inspiration from miniature houses like this for cottages, by the way, because I found a lot of the different, like I think they're meant for Christmas villages or something. You know how some people make these miniature landscaping with buildings and stuff? I think that's what they're meant for, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't think they're toys. I don't think they're doll houses. I do think they're meant for grown-ups, for example. But I think, yeah, I think people use them to make like miniature villages and cities and, you know, stuff like that. So I have quite a lot saved on my Pinterest board. I'll probably be showing you guys a couple more at some point, but today we are just taking inspiration from this one. I also wanted to say thank you so much for 150,000 subscribers. We rounded it like, I think like 20 minutes ago. That's also why this video is up a little bit late because I've just been keeping an eye on it all day because I really wanted to see the moment it changed because it's always exciting to see that. So anyways, but yeah, that's why the video is up a little bit late. But I really wanted to say thank you because that's an insane number and I am so grateful for you guys. Like, honestly, I suck at putting stuff like that into words, but I am so thankful for you guys. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for helping us get to 150,000 subscribers. Welcome to everyone who's new as well. It's been a while since I've said that, but I hope you guys have been feeling welcome and everything. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you because I am so grateful for you guys, to you guys, and yeah, let's just continue making videos here on the channel. I am planning on doing maybe a little bit more varied content in the new year, so not just speed builds. and also the occasional cast video. I'm just feeling like mixing it up a little bit, but there'll still be builds on the channel, like don't worry about that. I do know that most of you guys are here because of the buildings, and I also love to make houses in The Sims. I think it's a lot of fun. It's like my creative outlet as well. So, but I do want to switch up the content just a little bit, try some new things and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys are up for that too, but we will see once the time comes. But yeah, again, just thank you so much for 150,000 subscribers. I can't even say that. 150,000. There we go. It's an insane number. So yeah, thank you. I do want to say that for the back of this build, I definitely could have made it look a little bit more interesting shape-wise, but it's so annoying to build on this lot and also the neighboring lot because the camera constantly flies into the air because of what's going on in the background. So I quickly gave up on that, to be honest. You'll see in the screenshots, by the way, at the end of the video, I did move it to a bigger lot here in Windenburg. I moved it to one of the ones in the foresty area because the lighting actually hit the house terribly in this area, so I had to move it up there because otherwise it would have looked really bad for the thumbnail. Plus, there was also this wall in the way, and there was a tree in the way, and also one of these lamps with flags on it, so it's just like, yeah, no, we'll move it to another area. I hope that's okay, but it's on a bigger lot. However, this is built on a 20 by 20, so I think this is where there is a starter house to begin with. Yeah, I think it's one of the starter houses here in Windenburg, but this is definitely not a starter house. If you're curious about the price and also how many bedrooms and bathrooms are in the house, you can always see that in the description. I always update it with the correct info, so if any of you guys are curious about that, always just scroll down, click on read more or see more, whatever it says, and then just scroll down a little bit further. You'll see all the information about the house. I also always write what world it's built in, so in case you guys didn't understand what I said and you can't recognize the area, it's always written in the description, so just keep that in mind for future houses. If you're curious about something or misunderstanding something, it's always in the description. So I was having a few issues with the floor plan here because it hit me that I really wanted this family to have more than just one kid. Plus, I couldn't fit in a double bed on the second floor anyways because the second floor is so narrow because of the roofing, and I also couldn't expand the roofing. It's very difficult for me to explain in English, but I just couldn't. So, because it wouldn't have fit together, the roofing would have looked way too tall, and no, it just wasn't working out. So I was having a few issues because I also really wanted the teacher in this family to have their own office. However, if I put in an office, I suddenly couldn't fit in a bedroom on the ground floor anyways, so I had to cut out the office. But it took me a while to get to that conclusion. Some of you guys could probably make a better floor plan than this, but this is what I came up with in the end. It works, it's fine. There's just no hallway or no entryway, and I want to say the living room is a little bit narrow. The office area is in the living room too, which actually to me is natural because my dad used to do his homework. You know, as a teacher, you have to, not homework, but like as a teacher, you have to prepare lessons from home. At least you do that in Denmark. I don't know how it works in other countries. I actually don't know if it still works like that in Denmark either. But when I was younger, when my dad was still working, that's how it worked. So he had to prepare his lessons for the next day from home, and he was basically doing that stuff in the living room because that's where he had his little office area. So it's a little bit inspired by that here in the end. There is a small area where there is not a study, but like a desk with a computer and some books and stuff, and also some of those folders we got with university actually. So it looks like he's kind of, I say he, but it could also be a she. It looks like the teacher is kind of going through, I don't know, assignments or something, and they're just lying on the desk next to the computer. So something like that. But yeah, I really wanted, like, just to be nice to the teacher. I wanted the teacher to have their own office. However, the house is quite small, and like I said, I also wanted them to have more than just one kid. So it's just, it is what it is. But just in case you're curious about what was going on with the floor plan just before, because I did spend a fair amount of time on it, that was what was going on because I was really trying to fit in an office. It just wasn't possible. But anyways, and then also here, I actually decided to go for a different color scheme than I usually go for tutor houses, because generally I like to go for darker browns for tutor houses. However, I feel like lately I've been doing a lot of decorating with darker browns, so I felt like going in a different direction with this interior. So we ended up using some lighter wood tones instead. We're still using the parenthood counters because they're pretty much my favorite ones. I wish we had more swatches. I know I can download CC. I prefer not to, at least generally I prefer not to use CC, because I do know that I have a fair amount of console viewers as well who like to rebuild my houses. So, because you can't download from the gallery on console, because console doesn't have the gallery, so it just makes it easier for console players to rebuild houses when you don't use CC. So anyways, but yeah, I do know that there's a couple of recolors out there. I'm very tempted sometimes to download some more of them because I love these counters. We need more versatile counters like these ones, like we really, really do. Hopefully in the new year at some point. I'm actually really, really excited to find out what packs they're gonna do for the new year, because I feel like we've gone through all the ones that we know we're getting for The Sims 4. Like, I can't really think of anything else that we're missing that's been done for previous iterations. Is that what you call it? Previous versions of The Sims. So I don't know. Let me know if we're still missing something. Let me know, because I can't think of any. But if we're not missing any of the popular packs for the previous versions of The Sims, I am really, really curious to see what they're gonna do next, because hopefully it's gonna be something new. Hopefully it's gonna be something that we haven't seen a lot of for the game, and yeah, I'm really just very excited about it. I'm always excited about new stuff. I'm still excited about University. I've also not really gotten to play the game yet. I haven't played the, okay, so I haven't properly played, like, gameplay-wise since, I want to say Island Living, since I did the Disney Princess Legacy Challenge, which, by the way, I will have to cancel because of the COPPA issue, because I can't do anything that has Disney in the title. I'm afraid to, so I just, in case you're waiting for that to return, I don't know, some of you guys out there might be waiting for that to return. I can't continue it because of COPPA, so that's unfortunate. I will be doing another Let's Play at some point, hopefully, or something else gameplay-wise, or something else with gameplay, but it's just not going to be that Let's Play, which is a shame because I love that challenge. But anyways, so yeah, I haven't really been playing the game a lot, like, other than building, I haven't been playing the game a lot, but I really want to get back into that too. So, because we've gotten a lot of new gameplay features since the last time I probably sat down and played. Plus, I really want to explore University as well. So anyways, but we have moved on to the living room now. So in here, I decided to use the swatch for this couch. I think I talked about this swatch in my Brightchester University housing, or Brightchester student housing, or something, whatever I call that build. I love this swatch. It's such a nice blue. I think it's like slightly turquoise actually. It's a really nice blue for me. And over here is the little working area that I talked about for the teacher. So they do have their own desk over there, and I do clutter it up in just a little bit with some folders and some books as well, and some other stuff, you know, teacher stuff. Also, I forgot to mention, but this house does have room for a cat. There's a litter box on the ground floor. There's none on the second floor. And there's also a cat tree down here. I think there is a bed, possibly a cat tree on the second floor in one of the bedrooms, but I don't fully remember. We'll see that once we get to them. But yeah, I did make sure that they had room for a cat because I thought that would be very fitting for this family. So I also put in a food bowl and also one of those robot vacuum cleaners, a Roomba, I think it's called, something like that. So they're both, you can find both of those in the kitchen. So yeah, I don't know if it's because this house is in the city or what it was, because technically it's in the city, but I just felt like it made more sense for this family to have a cat instead of a dog, and I really just wanted them to have like a pet, a house pet. So yeah, I went with a cat. I do tend to sometimes forget that we can give our families pets for some reason. I just suddenly remember. It's like I see the category in the build catalog and I'm like, wait a minute, we have this. I don't know, it's just one of those things. And I love pets in real life, like I really, really do. But for some reason, when I'm decorating, I just completely forget about them. It's weird. It's strange. I should be better at giving my families or houses pets. I should be better at that anyways. I think I also forgot to, please don't come after me, but I think I forgot to decorate a bathroom on camera, so please don't hate me. The bathrooms are not that interesting anyways. They're all very, very small. I think 2 of them are 2x3s, and then the last one is actually a 2x2. So they're not the most interesting bathrooms anyways, so I hope it's okay that I cut them out. Or I didn't cut them out, but I forgot to record them actually. But there should be some pictures at the end of the video if you insist on seeing what the bathrooms look like. I promise you they're not that interesting, they're just bathrooms, it's fine. But if you really want to see what they look like, there should be a couple of pictures at the end of the video. I think I might have taken pictures of like one of the bathrooms or something. I use the same items in all the bathrooms. They're not personalized bathrooms or anything like that. They're just bathrooms. So anyways, so here we got the parents' bedroom, and I was struggling to figure out what bed to choose because I really wanted to go for the one from Discover University, but it's so fancy and grand and glam, and I felt like that was a little bit too much for this interior. I feel like this interior in this house is supposed to look a little bit older, but it's supposed to be like cozy, a little bit cheaper looking. Not necessarily cheap looking, but like when I say a little bit cheaper looking, I mean not fancy in any way. Just like a teacher's house, you know what I mean? Like a teacher's house. So that bed is just, it's a little bit too much for this family at least. So I went with the one from Cats and Dogs instead, also because the swatch was perfect. It was light wood, like it had a light wood tone, and then with either green or blue, which is kind of the color scheme that we're going for throughout this house. You'll see that with the children's bedroom or the child's bedroom and also the teen's bedroom as well. So that swatch was perfect, and I often tend to go for that bed for grandparents' bedrooms as well, but I don't know, I fit this house too, so anyways. So we moved on to the upstairs. We're starting out with the teen's bedroom. As you can see, we're basically going for the same kind of swatch for the bed in this room. It actually fits the bed downstairs, the Cats and Dogs bed, perfectly, I think. I think it might be a slight bit greener or a slight bit darker, but color-wise, like it's pretty close, I want to say. So I was struggling, again, a little bit because I don't know if you guys have ever built houses like this where you want to, like I didn't want to add like a proper second floor, so I wanted to do it like this so it's half covered by roofing basically, because otherwise the house would have looked too big, and with this sort of roofing where you've split it up into 3 different pieces, it just looks more like a cottage to me. So, but that does make it a little bit difficult to do a floor plan on the second floor because the rooms are so narrow. So basically what I've done is split up, you saw it at the start of the video, but I've split up the roofing in 3 pieces. So the sides will be on the second floor, and then the top piece is on the 3rd floor. And then you can still build like rooms, proper rooms on the 2nd floor. So it's basically framed up by the roof pieces. It's also really annoying to decorate when there's roofing, by the way, because your camera constantly jumps up and down. I don't know, you just have to deal with it and kind of learn where to place the camera, I suppose, but it's super annoying sometimes. So anyways, but it does make it difficult to place windows because technically the sides of the house are covered by roofing, so you have to make dormer windows, and yeah. But I need windows for bedrooms. Like I can't deal with there not being any windows in bedrooms, so yeah, I had to make do. I think it turned out fine, but it's just I had a small area in this room in particular where I ended up putting the desk because that little wing of the room was 2 squares wide and it was a little bit of a struggle. It turned out fine in the end though. They have this little corner with a desk and a computer and stuff so they can sit there and do their homework or maybe write their journal or something, chat with their friends on the computer, play some computer games, I don't really know. Playing their homework, I don't know what teenagers do. But yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle with the floor plan up here, I will admit to that. As with everything in this build, I feel like I've pointed out like 4 different things I struggled with, but hopefully you guys appreciate my honesty. Anyways, so moving on to the child's bedroom. So instead of using the new furniture that we got with Discover University, I actually decided to go back to using the kids room stuff pack furniture. That made more sense. And also a little bit of Parenthood. You'll see the bedside table here is from Parenthood. I just love that pack so much. Can definitely recommend if you're looking for a game pack to buy. Oh, I think there's a Black Friday sale on Friday, by the way. I think so. There should be, at least. Anyways, but if you're wondering what game pack to get next and you're not really sure, you don't have Parenthood as well, you should get that pack. I think I've said this before, but it's such a good pack. I just love that pack so much. Plus, it adds a lot of really cute furniture, but also a lot of really nice gameplay stuff. So I feel like it's one of those packs that I've been like out of the blue recommending to you guys, but it's just a really good pack. So anyways, but yeah, I used some of the kids room stuff pack furniture in here as well because I knew that it came in the right swatch. So light wood tone with a little bit of green, as you can see on the desk, and then other than that, we're just decorating in here a little bit on the walls and also some toys. It's a very spoiled kid. They have a little bit of everything in there, plus their own desk as well, so they can sit there and do their homework. And yeah, I think that room turned out fine. I didn't have the biggest issues in there, so possibly the only room in this house that I wasn't struggling with when it came to the interior, but yeah, I feel like it turned out alright. So moving on to the exterior again. There wasn't a whole lot of landscaping to do because obviously this house does not have a backyard. I went with the same kind of layout as I did. Actually, no. The neighboring house is also going to be in the save file. They also don't have a backyard. They only have like a front garden and then a side yard, which is what I call it, but I'm pretty sure that's not actually what they're called in real life, but I don't care, that's what I call it. So a side yard. This house only has a small area at the front of the house where obviously we have a lot of plants, but they also have 2 big plant pots, so they can either plant 2 trees there or they can plant 4 small plants in either of them or in each of them. Then there's also a small grilling area, so they do have a barbecue outside where they can sit together at a table as well, and I think I also put a bird bath out there, but that's about it. Again, was struggling a little bit with the landscaping here. I didn't fully know what kind of colors to go for because I both went with yellow and red for the house, but I felt like it looked way too much when it came to the flowers or the plants to place like around the house. It was fine on the house itself, but it didn't look good around the house, so I had to tone it down. I think I ended up removing a lot of the yellow flowers and then I swapped them out with some green plants instead, basically. So I used some of those hosta, are they called hosta or husta plants from Cats and Dogs actually? So what I did was I actually looked at the neighboring house that I built, which is also in the save file, and I took inspiration from the landscaping for that house, so the 2 houses here fit together as well, like landscaping around both of the houses fit together. So I think it's okay that I did like that, even though, I don't know, it was like, I was sitting here like, this is too much yellow, it's too colorful, it doesn't fit the vibe of Windenburg, or at least not Windenburg City, there's too many flowers and stuff, so I just toned it down a little bit, but yeah. And then of course we do some terrain paint. I care a lot about terrain paint because I feel like that's one of those things that make your build look more realistic, I want to say. So I always take my time when it comes to terrain paint. I like to fade out dirt, for example, so it's not just like a thick stripe of dirt. That doesn't look realistic to me. Dirt just doesn't just stick in one place. It kind of fades out a little bit, so I do that. I also make sure that there's dirt underneath the stone rugs here, and what else did I do? Yeah, this little path, right, or not the path, but this little area where I ended up putting the grill as well. We also used some terrain paint. I think that terrain paint actually came with Get Together, if you're curious. And then to make the landscaping look a little bit more realistic, I want to say, and also add just a little bit more variety so it's not just plants, I did just put down a few sized up rocks so it looks a little bit nicer instead of it all being just plants. I feel like I often do that with my landscaping too. And then also at the front gate I also put some plants there just to make it look a little bit nicer. So yeah, but I think that's about it. I also put a bike over on the left side of the path leading up to the front door. They also have a toy box for the pet as well. I don't know how much cats actually use that toy box, but it's cute, so it's there. And I think that's about it. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT. You could also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. Say hey to Faye, who's standing by the front gate. I don't really know, she's just casually chilling there by the front gate. She's doing her job as a playtester anyways. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know I should be. 'Cause honestly, I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you because now I see we were meant to be. Just tell me where and I'll come see ya. 'Cause I'm afraid that I'll end up here alone. Hope you'll understand how much I need.